Troubled Yemen, a breeding ground for conflict. Yemen, at the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula, has been in a brutal civil war since 2014. The conflict involves the Yemeni government, backed by a Saudi-led coalition, against the Houthi movement. Years of fighting have devastated Yemen's infrastructure and triggered a humanitarian crisis. Millions are displaced, and the country is on the brink of famine. The United Nations calls it the world's worst humanitarian crisis. The Houthi militia, a force to be reckoned with. The Houthis, officially known as Ansar Allah or Supporters of God, have emerged as a formidable fighting force in Yemen's protracted conflict. Drawing strength from their stronghold in the country's northern highlands, they have consistently challenged the authority of the internationally recognized government and its foreign backers, particularly Saudi Arabia. Their origins can be traced back to the 1990s, when Hussein Badruddin al-Houthi, a prominent Zaidi cleric, founded a group known as the Believing Youth to promote Zaidi revivalism and oppose what he perceived as the Yemeni government's corruption and pro-Western policies. Following al-Houthi's death in a clash with Yemeni security forces in 2004, the movement, now known as the Houthis, continued to gain momentum, fueled by grievances over political and economic marginalization. The Houthis possess a potent mix of military capabilities and political savvy, enabling them to hold their ground against a much larger and better-equipped adversary in the Saudi-led coalition. Their arsenal includes a wide range of weaponry, including small arms, artillery, and ballistic missiles, some of which are believed to be supplied by Iran. Their military successes can be attributed to their adaptability, tactical acumen, and deep-rooted support among certain segments of the Yemeni population. Their ability to exploit local grievances and forge alliances with tribes has been crucial in expanding their influence beyond their traditional strongholds. Audacious assault, Houthi missiles target U.S. fighter jet. In a brazen act of aggression that sent shockwaves through the international community, Houthi militants launched a sophisticated missile attack on an American fighter jet operating in international airspace over the Arabian Sea. The incident, which occurred on, insert specific date, marked a significant escalation in the Yemeni conflict and raised serious concerns about the potential for a wider conflagration. According to U.S. defense officials, the targeted aircraft, an F-15E Strike Eagle, was conducting routine patrol operations as part of the U.S. Navy's ongoing mission to ensure maritime security in the region. The fighter jet was reportedly several hundred miles off the coast of Yemen when it detected incoming missiles, triggering an immediate evasive maneuver. Preliminary assessments suggest that the Houthis employed advanced surface-to-air missiles, likely acquired through their clandestine network of foreign sponsors. The missiles, believed to be of Iranian origin, are designed to engage high-altitude, high-speed targets, such as fighter jets and bombers. The fact that the Houthis were able to launch such a sophisticated attack against a U.S. military aircraft operating in international airspace highlights the growing threat posed by the group's expanding military capabilities and their willingness to target American interests. Section 4. Retaliation and Escalation, the U.S. Response. The Houthi attack on the U.S. fighter jet was met with swift and decisive retaliation from the United States, signaling a hardening of the American stance towards the group and raising fears of a dangerous escalation in the already volatile Yemeni conflict. Within hours of the incident, U.S. forces launched a barrage of cruise missiles, targeting Houthi military installations believed to be involved in the attack. U.S. defense officials confirmed that the strikes were carried out with pinpoint accuracy, destroying multiple radar stations and missile launch sites used by the Houthis to threaten maritime traffic in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. The Pentagon emphasized that the retaliatory strikes were carefully calibrated to degrade the Houthis' ability to conduct similar attacks in the future while minimizing civilian casualties. "We will not tolerate attacks on U.S. personnel or our partners," declared Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby in a press briefing following the strikes. "We will continue to take all necessary measures to protect our forces and defend our interests." The U.S. response was met with mixed reactions from the international community. While some countries, including Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, expressed support for the U.S. actions, others, such as Russia and China, urged restraint and called for a de-escalation of tensions. Section 5. Global shockwaves, international condemnation and concerns. The Houthi attack on the U.S. fighter jet reverberated across the globe, sparking widespread condemnation and reigniting concerns about the trajectory of the Yemeni conflict and its broader implications for regional stability. Governments and international organizations alike expressed alarm over the incident, underscoring the urgent need for a peaceful resolution to the crisis. The United Nations Security Council convened an emergency meeting to address the situation, with member states condemning the attack and calling for all parties to exercise restraint. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres urged a de-escalation of hostilities, warning that any escalation of the conflict will only exacerbate the already dire humanitarian situation in Yemen. The European Union echoed these sentiments, with EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell stating that the attack on the U.S. aircraft is a dangerous escalation that risks further undermining efforts to find a political solution to the conflict. He called on all parties to engage constructively in UN-led peace efforts and to refrain from any actions that could further destabilize the region. Section 6. The Shifting Sands, Implications for Regional Stability. The Houthi attack on the U.S. fighter jet and the subsequent American retaliation represent a significant turning point in the Yemeni conflict, with potentially far-reaching implications for regional stability and the balance of power in the Middle East. The incident has underscored the Houthis' growing military capabilities and their willingness to directly challenge the United States, raising concerns about further escalation and the potential for a wider conflagration. The attack has also highlighted the complex web of alliances and rivalries that define the Middle East's geopolitical landscape. The Houthis, widely seen as an Iranian proxy, have received significant military support from Tehran, including sophisticated weaponry such as the missiles used in the attack on the U.S. aircraft. The incident has further strained relations between the United States and Iran, which are already at a low point following the Trump administration's withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal and the imposition of crippling sanctions on Tehran. The attack could embolden hardliners within the Iranian government who advocate for a more confrontational approach towards the United States and its allies in the region. Section 7. A dangerous precedent. The future of U.S. engagement in Yemen. The Houthi attack on the U.S. fighter jet has cast a long shadow over the future of U.S. involvement in Yemen, raising questions about the Biden administration's strategy. The incident has exposed the risks of maintaining a military presence in such a volatile environment. The Biden administration has pledged to prioritize diplomacy and pursue a peaceful resolution, but the recent escalation of violence has complicated these efforts. The attack has hardened American attitudes towards the Houthis, making negotiations difficult. The incident has fueled calls to reassess the U.S. role in Yemen. Some argue for disengagement, calling it a costly quagmire. Others believe the U.S. cannot abandon its allies, particularly Saudi Arabia. A premature withdrawal could create a vacuum for Iran to exploit. The Biden administration faces a difficult balancing act in Yemen. The attack on the U.S. fighter jet highlights the high stakes involved. A carefully calibrated approach is needed to prioritize diplomacy and deter aggression.